How do you actually never run out of things to say in a conversation? I remember after class in high school, I was walking in the hallway and I saw my two closest friends talking to a group of people that I always wanted to be friends with. They were like the popular girls, the popular guys in school. They seemed really chill to be around. And I thought to myself, like, if I were friends with these guys, that'd be fucking awesome, right? I remember, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go make friends with these people. I'm gonna go introduce myself and then we'll go from there. I walk into that group and they kind of just like looked at me up and down, like, who is this guy? And my friends introduced me, and I introduced myself. I said my name, like where I'm from, whatever, right? And the thing is, I didn't say a fucking word after that. I was stood there for like 5-10 minutes waiting for my next class, and the whole group was engaged talking to my friends, but I was kind of that one guy that is socially awkward, just standing there listening. Because I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know what conversations to start. I didn't know, like, would I be weird if I said that thing? I just didn't want to seem like I didn't want my reputation to go down just because I said something that maybe didn't fit right or that didn't sound right. So when that fucking after like 10 minutes when everyone said bye to each other and they just left like the group once we all went to our classes, I was so angry at myself because I felt like I just what if like I was good at having conversations. I could make friends with anybody, right? But I was so mad because I was stuck in my own fucking head. I said I was going to do this thing and I didn't do it because I was afraid of what they thought about me. So I don't know, do you ever just go into a conversation and you're just scared of what people think about you, or you just don't know what to say? Because you know, like, you could be an outgoing person, maybe, like, you know it internally that you could be that guy, but the problem is you just have nothing to say. Let me tell you this right now. Human beings, average human beings, have 70,000 thoughts per day. The problem isn't that you have nothing to say, is that you walk in with a conversation protocol. I walked into that fucking group with a conversation protocol, and I thought that if I said this certain thing, it would go above this line right here. And whatever I thought was above that line is that's not the right place to say it. Maybe that's not the right thing to say. Maybe that's too scary to say. In my experience, the best conversations I ever had with people are the conversations that were free flowing and aren't fucking scripted, or I didn't think about them before. Let me make this clear with you. The problem is that every person, the most shy people, because I was extremely shy back in the day, that every conversation I would walk into, I had a conversation protocol, meaning like I had to say these certain things, but if I ever wanted to say something that I was genuinely curious about, maybe it was out of my comfort zone. Maybe it just would have seemed weird to the other person. When you go into a conversation and you just free flow, you just say whatever the fuck you want to say, and you're just kind of confident saying it, you come off as a guy that you just don't care what the other person thinks about you. You literally just say what's on your mind. What are you genuinely curious about? Those are the best conversations you'll ever fucking have with anybody. Let me show you visually what a good conversation looks like. That is what a fucking good conversation looks like. It literally just goes everywhere. You could be talking about what they do for a living, or you can talk about the class they were just in, to fucking Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, to fucking your favorite food, to your favorite car. When you're just free flowing and you're just talking about whatever you want to talk about, that is probably the most attractive conversations you can ever have with somebody. The problem is that when you walk in and we have like these thoughts, we have stuff to say. You have 70,000 thoughts per day. We always have stuff to say, but you don't want to say it because you want to come off as weird as the other person, or you don't want the other person to dislike you, or you think it would be weird to say that, or you just don't know. Those are all just what your brain is lying to you, because the most attractive thing in a world during a social conversation is a person that's authentic and real. When you show up and you're genuinely like curious about this other person and you want to get to know them, and you're asking them questions that you're genuinely curious about, not asking bullshit questions that you don't give a fuck about, right? If you don't want to ask them like where they're from or what do they do for a living, then don't fucking ask it. But let's say you go into a conversation and you're genuinely curious, like let's just say like you're curious about, let's say the person does art for a living, right? And you're genuinely curious about art. That mood, that energy is going to show to the other person because it lights you up. It's going to light them up too. it's called the law of state transfer. No matter what mood you're in, you are going to bring that same mood to the other person. So when you walk in and you're just saying whatever you want to say, and you're saying stuff that you're genuinely curious about the other person, that is going to rub off to the other person, and they're going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? I love talking to this person. And by the way, this is not a quick fix. In high school, I was very socially awkward. In the beginning, at least, I was very socially awkward. I was so scared of what people thought about me. I didn't want to say the wrong thing because I didn't want to get teased for it, or I didn't want this person to not like me. But as I'm growing up, I'm 24 years old now. As I'm growing up, the best conversations you have with people are literally the ones that don't mean shit. You're just talking about whatever the fuck you want to talk about, and you're talking about your interests and their interests, and you're genuinely curious about the other person, asking them questions. There's no such thing as a bad or good question. The best questions you can ask someone are the questions you are genuinely curious about, because that will show up. Your energy for that question will show up to the other person, and they would love to answer it because they could see that you're genuinely interested to ask them that. This takes skill. This is a practice, because you actually have to learn not to care what other people think about you. And I can't tell you this is a quick fix, because if you just go into a conversation, a fucking group, and you have no filter. By the way, people label as having a no filter a bad thing. No, that's so total bullshit. If you have no filter, people will love talking to you, because you can they don't know what to expect from you. They don't know if you're going to talk about fucking skydiving, to you beating the shit out of someone, to you fucking talking about the sun, talking about your lamp. You can talk about whatever you want. That is having no conversation protocol. You just talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about. So, we were never taught this in school. Our parents never taught this to us. People never taught us how to be good socially, or people never said like how to get better at conversations. We learn about math, we learn about science, we learn about history. But the most important fucking thing in the world is speaking. How do you make friends? You talk to them. How do you get a girlfriend? You talk to her. How do you get someone to like you? You have to talk to them. So it baffles me that there's not many people talk about this today, of how to get good at just talking to people. And I feel you for this. I don't know where you are socially. I don't know how good you are at talking to people. I don't know how good you are at starting conversations. But dude, it is not your fault no matter where you're starting, because no one ever fucking teaches us stuff when we're growing up. This is something that you're going to have to learn by yourself and help with other people. Go on YouTube channels, study, just get better at this. Because I'm telling you this right now, when you have no conversation protocol and you just walk into any conversation and you say whatever the fuck you want, and I'm not saying be obnoxious about this, obviously, but you're just not like filtering yourself, right? You're just saying things that you're genuinely curious about. You're saying things that's on your mind. It'll come off to the other person. The most attractive thing socially is you being authentic. And the thing is, you are gonna have two sides to this. They're either gonna fucking love you or they're gonna fucking hate you. And that's okay. Because would you rather pretend to be someone you're not just to get someone to fucking like you? No. You show up as the real you, they're gonna love you or they're gonna fucking hate you. And that's what you want. And those are the type of friends that you want. So next time you go into a conversation with somebody or just any group setting, just say to yourself, what's my conversation protocol? If I have one, fucking remove it in that conversation. People may look at you be like, what is wrong with you? Or like, what's up with you, right? Because if this is a new thing to you, it's gonna come off to your friends. And the thing is, if they're like, what's been up with you lately? All you gotta say to that is, yeah, I feel great. Thanks for noticing. Literally, that's all you have to say. Any conversations, just walk up. Again, if you're always thinking like, what should I say? Ask something you're genuinely curious about. Your brain answers every single question. Literally just ask, what am I genuinely curious about this other person? Ask that fucking question. And again, that energy will show to the other person. I hope this video helps you. Again, I really hope this point drives across what I'm trying to say, because when you're just free flowing and you're just having good conversations and you just don't care about what they think of you, watch how you make new friends easily. Watch how people respond to you. People are gonna love talking to you. And this is what I do today, and this is how, and I get so many comments about this, but my whole goal with this channel is to help people just get better outgoing and get better at talking to people. Because when I'm just talking to people, I've noticed that they're just so shy, and just I could feel that they're stuck in their head. And that's literally how I used to be growing up. And I'm telling you, it doesn't always have to be like that. No matter how introverted you are, no matter how shy you are, it'll always get better. It's not your fault. It's just a skill we have to get better. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.